the most successful content on the internet is porn.
Okay, yeah. So it's good life
Yes.
being a vlogger or being a social media personality. But
Yes.
is it?
80% of the money goes to the top 20% of the creators.
So the Pareto principle applies there too.
100% it applies there. I'll tell you, if you're trying to find happiness from social media, like it doesn't work. Happiness can be found by having kids, finding a wife or a husband, a boyfriend or girlfriend. I think that's the easiest way, and being healthy. I will never make a video attacking somebody or something.
So how did you come to the 60-second formula?
The 60-second formula is because I have ADHD. When I was doing the 1,000 videos in 1,000 days, every day was just one video. So I wake up a day and say, I want to share one idea with the world. My learning from Kumbh is that I think humanity needs this. Like humans need shared culture, shared religion, shared rituals, shared beliefs, because that is what makes us a community. And Kumbh really gave people feeling that, oh, we belong in India. Israel and Palestine, I understand more than 99% of the world, so I speak up. And I want 99% of the world to shut up.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I only speak about things I understand. In reality, people just don't want to die. So I think Israelis just don't want to die. Israelis don't enjoy. They don't enjoy going to war. They don't want war. And this is something that a lot of people disagree with, because Israelis do not want war.
Namaste and welcome. I'm in conversation with someone who needs no introduction, at least for all those who are on the digital space. Did not start as a YouTuber, but is now called a vlogger and a YouTuber. Nas Daily. That's what you've become. You know, Yasin, your name is now Nas Daily.
Nas Daily, yeah.
But first up, thank you for doing this and thank you for making
Thank
the
you,
time.
Anand. It's so good to be here.
Yeah.
And let's have a great conversation.
So you're air dashing into India and you're going out, and then you've taken this time out amidst all the jet lag and battling with it. So let me first ask you, this 42% life on you, is do you really,
I don't have any other
or are you
t-shirt.
still charging?
That's the only t-shirt I have. Do you know that? I have 10 of the same design and I wear nothing else. This means this is the percentage of my life that's over. I'm 33. You're supposed to die at 76 on average. 33 out of 76 is 42%. And this basically reminds me to use my time wisely and just live life as much fun as
So
possible.
in your wisdom, you've thought that, okay, I'll have this conversation here on News 18. So that's fantastic. Thank
That
you for
is
that.
part of what makes life amazing, yes.
So let's start with, how did social media, Instagramming, meta platforms, and then vlogging happen for you? How did this whole process start?
Look,
and when?
Just like a traditional Indian family, my family also told me that I should become an engineer, then I do what I love. You know?
Okay. First study, get your graduation, get your degree, and then you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I did. I studied and I became an engineer and I didn't love it. Then I was like, you know what I love? Media, this. And so I started to do this. So I left my job and I started to do videos every single day, and nobody really paid attention. But you know, after 2 weeks of doing Nas Daily, I went to India because there's so many stories in India, so many ideas and videos, the content that you can make here. And then, you know, after 1,000 days, Nas Daily blew up and it became one of the biggest things on social media. And now I'm not really thinking of making videos. Now I'm thinking of making companies. That is the next challenge.
So from vlogger to entrepreneur.
Exactly.
So you've got two companies now, a media company and a tech company.
Correct.
So you're trying to saddle media and tech together. Is that what you're trying to do?
That's basically what we're trying to do. The people, you know, media, we built Nas Daily and we try to help other people build Nas Daily. We try to help you if you're a government, if you're a tourism agency, if you're a brand, if you're a company, a startup. You want to build your own Nas Daily on social media? We can do that. It's called 1000 Media. And then on the tech side, we help content creators make money online because it's so difficult to make money online. And that is sort of my life's mission now. We're 100 people. I used to be one, now we're 100. and it's fun. I highly recommend everybody build a company.
You say it's difficult to make money online, and you ask all the offliners, they believe that all the onliners are the one making money.
No one is making money. You know what? No, I mean,
so then where's the money going?
Do you think it's easy to make money online?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's very hard.
I think the perception is that like they look at the success stories. So there will be 1,000 people doing content out there, and the 10 that make it.
Exactly.
I think that built the perception.
Yes.
And they say, oh, he's making millions there. Oh, he's making so much money there. He's got so many followers and she's got so many followers. They're really having, it's a good life being a vlogger or being a social media personality. But is it?
80% of the money goes to the top 20% of the creators.
So the Pareto principle applies there too.
100% it applies there. And for those that don't know, it just means the few make the most. So what do we do with the remaining 80%? Those are the ones we're trying to help to make money and make a living doing what they love. Because everybody loves creating content. Everybody loves doing Instagram. It's the dream job. It's so much better than engineering. And it's just, if we can help you figure out how to make money from it, then you win.
Does everybody love to do it, or does everybody think it's the easy way to make money? There's a difference there, Nas. So I'm asking you that because if you are a content creator and you love to do what you do, it's a different approach.
Yeah.
Or if you look at this is an easy way. I just need to shoot a video of mine. I need to just get them to get people to like me, and I'll make money. That's the lazy way.
That I actually think it's the first one. I think people love to express themselves and talk to the world and build a community. That is what humans are made for. We're not made for accounting. We're not made to become lawyers. We're made to build community as humans. So that is what being an Instagrammer is. You're building a community.
But let me also ask you this. Those people who are trying to build a community online, do they really have a community offline? Or are they two different people?
That's a very good question, actually, because they're actually two different people. You can see somebody with 1 million followers on Instagram and like zero real life community. And you can see somebody with 10,000 followers on Instagram, but a massive offline community. It's hard to tell. These are two separate worlds. But the most powerful people are the ones that build it online and offline.
But the argument is that those who have an online community but don't have an offline deal with stress and deal with this entire thing of being appreciated and this whole value game. Those who have an offline community but not an online community lead a healthier, happier, funnier life and a better life.
That's interesting.
So, which side of the argument?
Can I disagree with that? Please. Because the grass is always greener. When you have money, you want fame. When you have fame, you want money. When you have an online community, you want it offline. When you have an offline community, you want it online. It's like, it's never enough. That's humans. It's never enough.
So that means no matter what, there will always be, okay, I've got this, I need that. So your eyes are never on what you have, but what you want to have.
Do you agree or disagree?
I think for a lot of people, yes. But I also feel that there are a lot of people who have started learning to value what they have. There are things that they would want or they would need, but there are a lot of people who are happy, they value what they have. And I don't know if you see it in society. I see a lot of people today saying, I want to be happy now. I don't want to be stressed, I want to be happy. Now it's a double game, because this whole thing about appreciation, need for appreciation is a very core human tendency, like you just said. But does that then tend to put you and drive you over the edge when you're living in a digital world? Because you're as good as your previous video. You're as good as your next 1,000 followers. So
100%.
So how do you deal with it? That's what I'm asking you. How should people deal with it?
How do you find happiness? I mean, I'll tell you, if you're trying to find happiness from social media, like it doesn't work. Happiness can be found by having kids, finding a wife or a husband, a boyfriend or girlfriend. I think that's the easiest way, and being healthy. That's the easiest way to be happy. But if you want to be satisfied and feel that you're doing something meaningful, I highly suggest you actually go on social media. Because social media gives you an insane satisfaction that you're affecting change in society. So the way I think about my life is, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, happiness. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, impact. And that is how, if you can have both, that's amazing.
So are you doing what you want to do on social media, or are you doing what you think is going to work or get impact? Now, there's a difference there.
You know, the most successful content on the internet is porn.
Okay, yeah.
So if we really want to do what gets the most views, you would do porn. We're not doing porn.
Okay.
So there's always a limit, right? And if it's not porn, then it's comedy.
Okay.
If it's not comedy, then it's entertainment. But we're not doing any of that, right? We're doing educational entertainment. That's what Nas Daily is. Every content creator should have a filter of what boundary they will never cross.
So you have your guardrails.
Exact guardrails, yeah. You have your guardrails as a journalist, and content creators have their guardrails as content creators. If I make gambling content now, I'll get so many followers, but that's not who I am.
Who you are. So, so that means somewhere what you stand for or what you'd like to stand for in terms of a value system also comes into your content creation.
Yeah, and it goes to your also news,
Yes, it
right?
does.
Because you could report on some silly stuff, or you can report on important stuff. How do you make that decision?
Yeah, because what do you stand for? So clearly, as a journalist, as a show, what is it that you would want to represent and what you stand for? So you build your own guardrails.
Every content creator has their own guardrails.
So how did you figure out your guardrails? And also, talk about how did you get to the 60-second formula?
So, you know, that's a really hard one because I started Nas Daily saying, I love to travel, I'm a travel guy. Then I was like, I'm not a travel guy, I need to be bigger than that. And so my guardrails is, does this content bring people together? If it's a yes, I do it. If it's a no, I don't do it. Which means I will never make a video attacking somebody or something unless I'm attacked. But I will never try to make you hate somebody. So a very simple formula is, my question is, does it bring people together? But for you is, does it inform people? Right? But everybody has their own question. For a comedian, does it make people laugh? Yes, no, that's it. Then you do it or you don't do it.
So how did you come to the 60-second formula?
The 60-second formula is because I have ADHD. Simple as that. I have ADHD. I cannot focus on things for more than a minute. And I was like, if I can't focus more than a minute, the audience cannot focus more than a minute. So I should make videos that are 1 minute long. Now this is more than 1 minute, so your audience maybe does not have ADHD.
Yeah, their audience maybe does not have ADHD, or because the questions keep changing, so each of the answers are not more than a minute, minute and a half.
Yeah.
So we're doing a series of
Do
questions.
you have ADHD?
I don't think so. As
Really?
of now, I don't think I have, but I have never checked. But I don't think so. I can sit down and listen, and I can sit down and watch. So that's not an issue.
I can't watch a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, one person who does not have ADHD is our Prime Minister. he can sit and listen to you for hours on end. So he's a fantastic listener, and I think that's a quality we don't have.
Yeah.
We tend to scroll very fast.
That's true.
We tend to move fast. So, but when you go, like, let's say Kumbh, how many days did you spend in Kumbh?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days, in and out.
So in 2 days, how many videos or how many stories did you find?
So
do you say, okay, I've got 10 stories, so I'm going to make 10 1-minute videos? That's how do you
Yes,
approach it?
exactly. So every idea, every theme is a video, an independent video. Now, when I went to Kumbh because I want to make one video. That's it. So I spent 2 days on it because I want the video to be good. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I just wanted the video to be a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But when I was doing the 1,000 videos in 1,000 days, every day was just one video. So I wake up a day and say, I want to share one idea with the world. What is it? And that's my recommendation to people. Anybody watching this who is thinking about creating content, every day you should wake up and say, what do I want to create today? What is the one idea I want the world to know about? And just turn that into a video.
Then how many hours or how much time do you shoot? And then you sit down on edit, and then you say, all right, this is 10 seconds, this is 15 seconds, and this is how my 60 seconds get constructed on the storyboard.
So when I started, it used to take 15 hours to make a 1-minute video. Now with AI, we help our clients, create a lot of content in like 2 hours. So the time it takes to make videos is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Eventually, it should take 1 minute to make a 1 minute video. But now it used to take 15 hours, now it takes me roughly 5 to 6 hours.
But what was your learning from Kumbh? Yes, you made a video and I saw it, and there was effort in it, I agree with you. But what was your learning? What was your takeaway? Because you also study human behavior, you study cultures, you study faith and ways of life. So what was your learning?
That's a very good question. My learning from Kumbh is that I think humanity needs this. Like humans need shared culture, shared religion, shared rituals, shared beliefs, because that is what makes us a community. And Kumbh really gave people feeling that, oh, we belong in India, whether I'm rich or poor, young or old. So I was like, wow, this Maha Kumbh, we need a different version of Maha Kumbh that's not religious, right? To bring people together. So Maha Kumbh brought people together. And I was like, oh, I like that. I want things that bring people together.
Did you feel a different energy in that area when you went into the ghats, when you were with so many people, humanity? Did you feel a different vibe inside you?
I'm not a very spiritual person.
Yeah, I didn't ask you from a spiritual point of view. I just felt that, did you feel the energies around you change? You know, did you feel something different?
Because this event is so rare, I felt like, I just did something unique in my life. So I felt this energy of rarity, that this doesn't happen every day. So that was a nice energy. When you experience something once, cool. It makes you feel cool.
What
did you go to Maha Kumbh?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yes, I did. I did. And, from my end, I'm quite spiritual. But for me, what I felt is...
Yeah, what did you feel?
There's a different energy. And what you felt is because of the collective conscience of so many people there who came with one particular thought. They had no other thought, that all they wanted to do was they wanted to come there, they wanted to take the dip, and they wanted to go back.
Yeah.
So it was that. So everybody was there just to get there, and no matter how much time it takes, how much of patience it tests, you get there, and then you see that when you have people at a slightly higher level of consciousness amongst themselves, we all tend to be one. We all tend to unite.
I mean, that's the essence of Hinduism, right? That we're all made with the same fabric.
Yeah, we are. And, different faiths follow different thought processes. But one of the part is that all of us are charged by a battery, right? If that battery leaves this body is nothing but a body. And then if you take that battery out and put it into another body, and then that battery continues. And that's the soul, or that's the Atma. Yeah. Now, sometimes we are seeing people around us who have a soul connection. So we are in different bodies, but our souls may have been connected before.
Yes.
And when you come to a place where there are so many people and so many souls that are coming together, you tend to get a vibe that this is a few hundred years or a few thousand years of journey of the soul that is coming to a place where it says, okay, finally I've got to do what I want to do. That is, take a dip where three majestic rivers meet, and the magic of the waters, the magic of the place, and the confluence. So it's also science. It's not just spirituality, because there's energy there. There is also confluence there. So there is something beyond what is a perceived human understanding of three dimensions, which you can realize and which you can interpret and look at. So that's why I said, you may not think about all of this. That's why I said, did you feel yourself differently? That's what I said.
I like your interpretation way more. Mine was more like, I'm a tourist. I'm here to see this rare event in a religion that I'm not part of, but I'm here to learn from it. And I studied Hinduism for a month, so I'm a big fan of Hinduism and Buddhism and Eastern religions, or way of lives. And for me, it was a way to intake information, and that's why I liked it.
Did you know Hindutva, or the Hindu way of life, also accepts atheism?
Does it?
Yeah. So there are passages in our scriptures which say that even someone who does not believe in God deserves place in society.
So somebody that doesn't believe in, let's say, Shiv or
it doesn't matter. You may not believe that their God. So atheism is God doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So it's only in Hindu scriptures that there is a separate passage and a separate mention of people who don't believe in God.
And they're accepted.
Yeah, you have to accept, because they are people.
Yeah.
So they are people, they are part of society, they are humanity, and you have to work with them as human beings. Their faith, their faith, their life, their life. But we all collectively have to work for one good, that is societal good.
Huh.
So when we use the word dharma or dharma,
Yes.
it's not about religion.
Yeah, it's about your human responsibility.
Yeah, it's about what will sustain you, what will sustain society. So it's about sustenance. Dharyate iti dharma, that which sustains and that holds up society. So
Yes.
that's what the interpretation of dharma is. So if society means society will have all sorts of people. There'll be good, bad, there'll be those who'll believe this way, who'll believe that way, who'll think this way, who'll think that way. But can we all think together as one, as a society, to hold up this society?
Do you feel like you're doing your dharma?
Of course I do. Otherwise I wouldn't be in this profession. Can I do it better? Of course. I can do it better. Should I do more? Yes, I feel I do. But do you think am I on the right path? Can I sleep with, look at me and myself in the mirror and say, be honest with my conscience? Yes, I can. So that's why. So that's why I asked you, so why do you do this? Because I'm doing this because it's my passion, and my passion is my profession. So I'm asking you, is your passion your profession?
Yeah.
I came back to...
Yeah, 100%.
So if you were to get up tomorrow morning and say, I've got 10 other options, this is what is it that you'd pick?
I am living doing what I love. I'm living from what I love. And I think there's no higher calling than to do good and do well at the same time. So I'm for sure living my dharma. And I hope more, but I think only 10% of the world is living their dharma.
Correct.
I think 90% of the world is lost and doing things they hate just because they need to make money and pay rent. AKA engineering.
So how do we correct it? How do you think you can correct it as a techpreneur?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about all the time.
As a future media mogul.
Well, look, I think it all boils down to, can you make money from this? Because at the end of the day, no rent is free. No food is free, right? You gotta be able to pay for your food, pay for your rent, pay for your clothes. So at the end of the day is, if you can make money from doing what you love, it all starts with money, as much as we hate talking about money. So if somebody can make money by teaching dancing, then they'll just teach dancing for the rest of their life. The reason they don't teach dancing is because no one is paying them for it. And that's why they go become an accountant. So I'm just thinking, how can we help you make money from the things you love?
Love to do, right? So
Yes.
make your passion your profession, and then...
Make your passion your profession. Oh, I love that line.
Yeah, how can you do that?
I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, it's all yours. You can
Is
take
that
it.
okay if I write it down on TV?
Yeah, you can take it down.
Make your
So-
passion your profession. Stole. Make your profit. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How do you think we can do it via media, by what you're doing? How is Nas Daily going to help people make their passion their profession? What's the formula that you have?
The first formula is inspiration. Nas Daily can only inspire you. Nas.io gives you the technology tools to do that, right? So if you want to make money from teaching, Nas.io has a tool for that. If you want to make money from running challenges, competitions, memberships, Nas.io has the tools for that. But Nas Daily inspires you to start thinking about that. So it's like Nas Daily tells you, hey, look at these people in Maha Kumbh, and they're like having the best time of their lives. They're living their passion. Be like them. Nas Daily goes and highlights founders of companies. Be like them. So media inspires. Technology helps you do it.
You're talking about money. In fact, in the scriptures, the kings of the past were told that you got to keep your coffers full, but you must donate once in a month. So every month you must donate 15% to 20% of your earnings of that month.
15%?
Yeah. So as a kingdom,
That's
as a king.
taxes.
Yeah. So no, not donate. You got to give it out.
Wow.
So for 29 days in a month, you work hard. You ensure that the coffers are full, and on the 30th day, once in a month, you're supposed to go and donate to people who don't have. So you donate cows to farmers, bulls to the farmers, and then you go donate money to the homeless, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You give to people.
Yeah.
So that the coffers get, and then you think about again how to make the organized trade in such a way, do business in such a way, collect in such a way that the coffers are full, but you still donate. So the flow of money continues. So you earn, you create wealth, but you also do good for society. So that
I like that.
That's something internal. But
That's in Hinduism?
yeah, it is. So that was supposed to be Raj Dharma. So one of the tenets
Raj Dharma.
so one of the tenets of Raj Dharma, that means how to rule, is that you ensure that your coffers are full, your pockets are full, but you never close your pockets. Your pockets should always be open and the flow of money should continue.
Yeah.
So you should always give so that you get more.
That makes sense.
So that was the thought. But now let's come to you also start.
You and I need to have another separate interview about just Hinduism.
Yeah, there's so much to understand. In fact, the word ism itself does not exist. So this reference to the Hindu way of life is called Hindutva. That means being a Hindu. So there's nothing called Hinduism. So Hinduism is the British.
That's like a Western word?
Yeah, it's a colonial connotation that was done in
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. You don't need to. We're all brainwashed like that. So to speak in a particular way.
So so is Buddhism a thing then? Do you believe in? But that has an ism.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be Buddhism. It's
So
supposed to be. It's the way of the Buddha. So it's Bauddha and Buddha.
So what's wrong with ism?
Bauddha Dharma. So isms generally tend to bracket and to try and define it in a certain way. So the reference itself has a certain level of negativity to it. So that's why we say, okay, let's not follow that. So because it's not a faith per se. It's not a religion per se. It's been bracketed and it's become a religion.
I see.
It's supposed to be a way of life. So even if you adapt Buddhism, now that we call it Buddhism, you adapt the Bauddha way or the Eightfold Path of the Buddha, you decide to live life in a particular manner. It is not something which is an indoctrination. So that's why it's very different from something.
So you have the agency
to
live life.
Yeah, you choose an agency. You choose a particular path, and you walk that particular path. So when you walk a particular path, it's a way of life. You follow a certain etiquette and how to live your life. So you decide that this is my path for Dharma, in a way that I'll conduct myself so that it upholds society, it upholds humanity. So the whole interpretation is very different. Anyways,
that's so interesting.
That's a different conversation.
No, I like that. Yeah, you know so much. I'm learning.
It's a different conversation per se. But I'm just saying. So when we look at quote unquote the Abrahamic paths, and compare that with a lot, like you said, the Eastern belief systems, there is a difference, because the Eastern belief systems never said one is superior than the other.
Yes.
The Eastern belief systems never said that the others have to perish for me to survive. Yes. The Eastern belief systems very clearly said that this is an option. Choose it.
Yes.
If you'd like it.
Yes.
It didn't say you got to do it by the sword. So despite the fact that all the deities in the Hindu way of life have the lotus in one hand and the chakra in the other.
Yeah.
So have the damru in one hand, a musical instrument, and the trident in the other. So the goddesses have swords and this on one hand, while they have the conch and this. So there is peace and so valor depicted in both ways. But never has it been that it's never been by the sword. It's never been forced. It's never been like convert or perish. It's never been like that. So that there's a difference in thought process.
I mean, I guess there's a reason why the Hindu way of life is actually has not expanded beyond the India subcontinent, right? You didn't go to Africa and say everybody must become Hindu. You don't have the missionary
it traveled the world over for acceptance, and people accept it. But then I think somewhere the Hindu people itself, or people from here itself, allowed it to dilute. So there is a graph of every way of life, every path. So sometimes it's on the ascent, sometimes it's on the descent.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the generations and how they are influenced. So if there is 600 years of colonial rule and there is an imposition and a restriction of practice, so there will be an after effect that, paths will get diluted, scriptures will get lost, methods will go. Now then there is a renaissance, or there is a revival that happens. All about that on another conversation. This time we're talking about
go ahead.
You wanted to ask.
I wanted to ask you about like India versus Bharat as the name of the country. What do you think?
I'll tell you, we were always called Bharat. Okay, this area is called Bharatvarsha, and this land as the subcontinent is called Bharatakhanda. So it was never called India.
Yes.
Okay, so the word India finds its origins from the Sindhu river or the Indus river.
Yes.
So it was never Indus, it was Sindhu.
Yes.
And Hyun Sang called it Intu.
Okay.
Because they couldn't pronounce the word Sir.
Okay.
So Sir became her. So we are Sindhu people who live on the banks of the Sindhu river.
Yes.
but they couldn't pronounce sir, so it became her,
Yeah.
and it became Hindu and Intu,
Yes.
and then it became Indus and India.
Yes. That I knew.
So the origins are different. So there's no word called India, but it's now referred to as India. And now in common parlance, the urban elite, the educated are called India, and the rural disposition, the non-English speaking, supposedly not educated, are called Bharat. Now I don't agree with that classification.
Oh, really? So the upper class called Indians.
The urban, upwardly mobile, English speaking, that's the India that thinks, modern, has got modern thinking.
Got it.
And the one that is rudimentary, that's a perception. I don't agree with it.
I see.
I disagree with that classification, but that's the larger Western narrative that's been built, that there is an India and there is a Bharat.
Oh, okay.
There isn't. There is just one Bharat, which has got different types of people.
So do you think the name of the country should change to Bharat?
The name of the country is Bharat.
That's globally. Like, do you think Americans should call this Bharat versus India?
Why should I put a gun to the Americans and say, you call me like this? I'll call myself Bharat. Eventually, they'll call me Bharat.
That's interesting.
So it's like that. Coercion doesn't help. Now, let me ask you, things have
Sorry,
changed.
this is so interesting. I'm learning so much. I'm now interviewing you.
I don't know. It's a conversation, and it's good to have you here. Let me ask you, you're based in New York.
Yes.
How are things different under Donald Trump? And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
His geopolitics, his approach, the art of the deal, be it with Russia, Ukraine, be it with Israel and what's happening in Gaza and Iraq. His whole thing about we want to own Gaza has changed the whole perception around the place. So I'm asking you, how do you reflect on it? Because you have Israeli-Palestinian roots. You ply your wares in the US and across the world.
So look, the main reason I decided to live in New York, it actually has nothing to do with politics and has nothing to do with geography. If anything, the geography of New York is way too far. I'd rather be in this time zone. The India time zone for me is way better because my company in Singapore and Israel is like, this is very central.
You should come live in Delhi.
Maybe. I want to build a hotel in Delhi. That would be nice. The truth of the matter is, most of the world's capital, aka money, is in one country. And this is, whether we like it or not, 25% of the world's economy is in the United States. And because I need to raise money for my company and I need the customers to pay, unfortunately, Asia is not quite there yet for the technology ecosystem. So if you're a maturing company, most maturing company find themselves in America because there's enough investors, there's enough talent, there's enough all this stuff. Why do you think Facebook came out of America? NVIDIA, Google, AI, OpenAI, ChatGPT. Why do these things not come from Denmark? So I just think, as much as I want the rest of the world to flourish, the reality is most of the innovation is still coming from America, and I want it to be closer to where the innovation is. Now, I know India is like, India has its eyes on innovation, so they're going after this. So I think next 5-10 years, it may change. Right now, there's like one main show in town, which is the United States technology ecosystem. I think there'll be 3 shows in the next 10 years, the Chinese show, the Indian show, and the American show. But for now, it's really majority US show.
So you steer clear of the politics altogether. So
it doesn't affect me as much. It doesn't affect me as much. So that's why I don't care too much about it. I follow it very closely, but it doesn't affect me too much.
But you don't have an opinion, or you don't want to?
No, I opinion on what?
On how Trump is trying to deal with Russia, Ukraine, with Israel, with Palestine.
I'll tell you, there's one thing I learned, which is I don't speak on conflicts I don't understand. So Russia, Ukraine, I don't understand, so I shut up. But Israel and Palestine, I understand more than 99% of the world, so I speak up. And I want 99% of the world to shut up.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I only speak about things I understand. Generally speaking, my answer to this is, the status quo doesn't work. What we need is change. I think everybody listening to this agrees we need change. The question is, what change?
Yeah.
Now, we have Kamala Harris, who was no change, and we have Trump, who is like so much change. You agree with some change and you disagree with some change. But what I really think is we need change.
But where does the change? you also believe that the door to dialogue, door to peace is a two-way street, correct? So if one person says, I'm still going to, no matter if it takes me 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, I'm still going to eradicate the other side. And the other side says, every time you come up, I'm going to, before you eradicate me, I'm going to eradicate you. How are we going to resolve conflict? How are we going
The only way to get peace is when one person thinks that the other person is not going to kill them. Right now, take Israel and Palestine.
Yeah.
Israelis think Palestinians are going to kill them. And Palestinians think Israelis are going to kill them. And because you think the other is going to kill you, you need a nuclear weapon. You want to build a nuclear weapon and build tunnels and have as many army as possible. And you see that, right? In wherever there is war, like North Korea, South Korea, right? They all need as much weapons as possible because they think the other is going to kill them. So in reality, I think nobody wants to kill anybody. In reality, people just don't want to die. So I think Israelis just don't want to die. Israelis don't enjoy. They don't enjoy going to war. They don't want war. And this is something that a lot of people disagree with. But Israelis do not want war. They just don't want to be killed. So, and I think this applies to Palestinians, this applies to North Koreans, South Koreans. Nobody wants to kill for the fun of it. Everybody just wants to save their own life.
So let me ask you, how do you shift the goalpost? How do you get them to think about, rather than saying, I want to save my life so that I need to kill that guy's going to kill me. How do you change the proposition? Is economics the proposition? Is money the proposition? Is opportunity the proposition?
That's a great question. I think it, as much as I don't like it, but I think it relates to money. Like I think when, like why do, like very, like when there is like future growth, people are nicer.
Yeah.
Like when I'm dealing with a client, for example, okay, and this is true, I'm a human, you're a human. When I know that in the future we could work more with this client, I'm like nicer. But when I see the future, there's no growth, and I see this client disappearing in the future, I'm like, not as nice. And that's the reality, that's the truth, and nobody wants to say it. If I know that you and I have a chance to become better friends tomorrow, I will be nicer.
Yeah.
But if I think this is the end, I don't give a shit. Sorry. Right? So everybody needs to believe that in the future, they're going to make more money from working with their neighbors. And so, unfortunately, the Israelis do not think there'll be anything more in the future by dealing with the Palestinians, and therefore they don't need to invest in that relationship. But that's how we think of it. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know. I just feel that somewhere, if you just turn the attention, focus the attention towards economic prosperity, and take away this whole thing about establishing the supremacy of one identity over the other, I think that's where all conflicts begin, at all levels. All conflicts begin when one wants to establish the supremacy of their identity over the other. The moment we move away from that and we say, all right, collectively, let's just honor merit and let's just get everybody to be happy and let's just everybody grow. You know, if everybody is wealthy, nobody is going to be upset about it because you're too busy making money. Yeah, you keep one set rid of the money and the other side grows, then there is jealousy and say, oh, he's grown so tall, he's just going to fall over me and he's going to wipe me out. So let's also grow tall. So then the motivation to grow and the motivation is wrong. You get billions of dollars, and rather than saying that, okay, we're going to become a global economic hub, you become a web of tunnels for rockets and this one. You get billions of dollars and all you say is, I'm going to build an arsenal so that I can wipe everybody else out, rather than saying, I'm going to foster technology, I'm going to better human life. Then you have a problem. So I think that's where humanity needs to decide this.
You know what I like about the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, is that in Dubai, in a way, your race and your nationality don't really matter. What matters is, are you here to do business?
Yeah.
Right? So you have very successful Indian businessmen, you have very successful British businessmen, and you have very successful Nigerian businessmen. They're all different skin color, but it doesn't really matter because you're all here to build business. And I see, like, in a way, it's almost like classism as opposed to racism, which I think is better. And this is very controversial to say, but I cannot change my skin color. So if you treat me badly because of my skin color, then there's nothing I can do about it. But I can change my economic
Correct.
position. I can make myself better. I can build more. I can create a company. I can do things. And then you'll treat me the same, you know? So in a way, yeah, the lesser of evils, but classism is a lesser evil than racism.
I think it all stems from the way we see people. If we decide that their religion, their race, or their color is going to decide the way I perceive them, rather than their ability or their merit, then we have a problem.
Yes.
That's where I think if we start looking at people based on their merit and their ability, and then just say, okay, this is what you're able, this is your capability, I respect you this, and this is what you do.
Yes.
When you talk about Dubai as the Emirates, among the 7 Emirates, they were the only ones who don't have oil. Right. So they decided how am I going to make money among the other 6?
Exactly.
By making myself an economic and a trade hub.
Yes.
Come here, do business, I'll make it easy for
Yes.
you. Right. I'm just thinking, why doesn't Gaza think like that? Why can't Gaza become the global economic hub? The most disputed piece of land across the whole world can become the most coveted piece of land for everybody in terms of value. I'm just saying it's a thought process.
I do not disagree with you.
I'm just saying it just ends, but it'll upset a lot of arms suppliers and arms dealers and all of that, because they will not find a reason to fuel conflict to make money. It's a different story.
Really, there's a one-word answer to this, which, I mean, it gets really political, but the one-word answer to this is Iran. Iran. We love the Iranian people, but if you just keep giving money and arms to people who are extremists, that causes problems.
Yeah, but because Iran believes that's the only way to survive.
Yeah.
Because if Israel becomes too strong, Iran will be finished.
Yes, exactly. But Israel doesn't give a shit about Iran.
Yeah.
They don't want to destroy
But
Iran.
then on the other hand, they believe the Sunnis will come after the Shias, so the Saudis are the other threat. So you know,
you're right. So Iran is scared for their own life.
Yeah, it's their own life. So it comes back to the same thing. It's all about survival, and we think the other is out to finish us. And if you're able to shift that goalpost and say, let's just collectively compete to see who can get better and do better for humanity, I think that's a different thing, different story.
That's something interesting that India is doing. I gotta say, the foreign policy of India is different. It's like, we'll be friends with the Russian, we'll be friends with the Americans, we'll be friends with everybody. We're neutral, and we're here to do business. We're here to build India. And I kind of like that.
True, because I think the Prime Minister's attitude is that, listen, if I'm strong and I'm solid, you're not going to come and punch me. But that doesn't mean I'm becoming strong and solid to come and hit you.
Yeah.
Got it? So that's the whole definition of the boundary. I'm not becoming strong and solid as a nation to come out and conquer someone else or destroy someone else. I am doing that so that nobody messes with me.
Yeah.
That's the point. So, and you're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend. Let's all be friends together, sit at a table, have fun, and make each other's lives better.
Peace through strength.
Yeah. So, because only the strong speak to the strong. So I have to be strong for you to take me seriously, right? Because the strong will never talk to the weak. They will only dominate the weak. So as a nation, we have to be strong. But we are not being strong so that we dominate the weak. We are here, from our thought process, is to help the weak. So COVID vaccines, when they happened, no nation gave 750 million doses of vaccines free to other nations. No nation did. We did.
Yeah.
As India did. There's a reason why. Because what happens to those people? So, so there were other companies, so there were others who did that. But let's come back.
You're right.
So I think that you said there is the attitude. The attitude is collective collaboration and collective growth. And I think somewhere that's why our foreign policy is strategic autonomy. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of my country without hurting the interests of any other nation.
Yeah.
It's a difficult rope to walk. It's very difficult because my friend may not be your friend. And then that person say, hey, if that guy is my enemy, he should be your enemy too. And I've got to say, no. My friend is my friend. Your friend may not be your friend, but that's how it is.
That makes sense.
So anyway, but coming back, you talked about India as another option. The Chinese, the Americans will develop in tech India. You've been here. You've met a lot of people. My final 2-3 questions are around what do we need to do as a country to grow in this entire tech media world, media tech world, the space that you're in terms of policy, in terms of opportunity, and where do you see the big opportunity for us?
I think you're on the right track. Like, I think tech entrepreneurs in India are celebrated. They're not vilified. Like, I see it already. Like, you know, if somebody builds a big tech company, they become a hero. Every Indian kid wants to build a tech company. So you're already on the right track. But for some reason, you don't have as many big companies as Israel. Israel is a very small country, right? It has like 70 unicorns. So I think there's still something missing. Maybe it's just a matter of time until that happens. That's one. Number two is, I really think even though India is a big market, a bigger market when it comes to money is the United States. So I really think Indian companies should try to sell in America, not just sell in India. Because if you sell one thing for $1 in India, you can sell it for $10 in America. And so a lot of my friends actually build in India to the world, not just to India. I think that could help.
That can help. In terms of policy, have you ever thought about setting up shop in India? Is it easy, difficult compared to other places?
I did think about it, but I just thought not now. Well, we are setting shop. I mean, I'm lying. We are setting shop in India. We just launched a company in India called 1000 Media. 1000 Media is a media agency that helps people build their own nasty. We have many clients in America, startups, brands, and big companies. So we have that. I believe in India. This is why I'm here. But I think I don't live here necessarily. I live in New York. But definitely we have presence here.
You think as a nation we need to market ourselves better? Because
100%.
Because we've got more than 100 unicorns already. The top 5 unicorns in Silicon Valley today, 4 of them are Indians. So, so I'm just saying, Mumbai itself has more than 45 unicorns. So, but this is something the world doesn't know. And there is money. It's not that we don't have money. But do you think we're marketing ourselves right?
This is why, I'm excited every time a media company in India becomes global, because I think a lot of the times India speaks to India, or India speaks to Indians in Canada or America, but in reality, India should speak to non-Indians. And that's the trick. Israel does it really well, and I keep going back to that because Israel is so small. There's no local market. There's 8 million people. 1 million of them can actually buy. It's there's not a real market, but every Israeli company markets to Europe, to the world, to America. They know that it's do or die. But in India, if you speak to Indians, you get 10 million views, 10 million people attention, and that's a lot. It feels like enough. But maybe that's not enough. Maybe you need 10 million Indians and 1 million French people to listen to you. How can we speak to the French? This is our opportunity.
So the market, our own internal market is a strength, but it should not be a weakness that it makes us very myopic that we look at only this market. That's what you
completely.
believe.
I don't think it should be the only thing. And how can we find a way where this video is watched by somebody in Denmark? That's really the trick. Because Denmark is watching Hollywood. You know? How can they watch Bollywood?
Interesting, very interesting. And if it can be subtitled in Danish, this whole conversation.
Or dubbed in Danish.
Dubbed in Danish, so why not?
Somebody should do this. Somebody should build this, please.
Nas Daily. It's up to you. Let's collaborate often. That's what we should do.
That would be amazing.
Lovely speaking, Nas.
Thank you. This was a great conversation. We talked about politics, religion, Hindu way of life, and tech and media.
Tech and media, yes. Good to have you, and we should meet more often.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.